And welcome to the Alex Urbina Radio Show. Today we're live in the KHTS studio, and we're celebrating Ellen Tunick's birthday. And I don't know the number, so I'm not going to throw it out there. 68 years young.
Correct.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
It depends when you ask me. You can choose how you feel.
That's true. So how are you choosing to feel?
I'm choosing to feel amazing, elated, happy to be here to celebrate that birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
And to be willing to look at all the blessings you have, right?
Yes.
Versus all the
Yes.
circumstances that you get to overcome and all those things.
All the little aches and
pains.
pains.
Yeah. And I think when you learn how to just embrace that life's going to keep coming at you.
You almost laugh at it, because what's your choice? To sit and dwell on it and then become, morose about it?
You actually can choose that because millions of people are choosing that rather than
I can't go down that road.
Not being aware that they do actually have another choice. And it's a matter of figuring out how can I choose to see my life through those filters, that which I'm grateful for, that which I'm humble, that which I can.
I get to be here.
That's right. But it's a perspective that you're choosing.
I didn't always have this perspective. Trust me.
Yeah, I don't think any of us did. I think we were kind of born in a society and a culture and being raised with certain viewpoints that our parents projected onto us, or society or the media. And when we're unconsciously gathering those filters, it's just like breathing. We just look through those and we, can very easily not focus on the things that are gems in our life and the diamonds.
Well, aging in America has a very different social philosophy than aging in other countries. Aging in America, for a lot of people, is not a great thing. I remember growing up that, aging for my grandmother or aging even for my own parents was, now they're going to sit on the couch and now they're not going to participate and all the doctor's appointments and the aches and pain, So it's a very different philosophy and one that I experienced. I just refuse to make that my experience. Even with all my little aches and pains.
That's beautiful. And we wish you a beautiful birthday
Thank
this
you.
weekend. We know it's going to be with family.
Yes.
And you're going to have a huge smile on your face, just
Yes.
like you have right now. And thanks for joining us on the show. Today's show's all about life coaching, and we'll jump right into it.
Okay.
And we'll just talk about some topics that maybe you want to throw out there to help yourself and myself and everyone else listening to see how we can get outside the box and really create joy and freedom and happiness still with learning how to take on our challenges. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, I did something this past week that surprised myself, something that I have never done before. So I'll share that with you.
Okay, great.
So we've had a lot of things in our family for the last month. We've had medical scenarios, hip replacements, side impacts from the hip replacement. We also have a grandson who is graduating from high school. We have family coming in. We have some more medical surgery coming up. So I was in a very overwhelmed place, and I knew I was overwhelmed. My daughter from San Francisco with her whole family was going to come down the night of the graduation party. It started to get really overwhelming and convoluted, and Ron wasn't feeling great, and he's a little on the grumpy side, which is fine, and I thought to myself, how can I make it easier on myself? Never asked myself that before. My theory always was, what more can I do? So I said to myself, what can I do? And my initial thought was nothing. This is you've got to do this for everybody. Had a conversation with my daughter, and she said, Mom, what do you want to do? What keeps coming up for you? And I said, I just don't know if I can deal with Tracy and all three boys and everybody coming down while Dad isn't feeling great. I don't want him to be grumpy because the boys are super high energy. And she said, well, why don't you just share that with Tracy? And my first reaction was, oh, no way. No way. I don't get to see them a lot. They're going to, blah, blah, blah. So then I got to the point and said, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to share how I feel with Tracy and then have her come back with what she feels the right thing for her and the family. So we did that, and she said, Mom, she said, you are always putting yourself out for everybody. She said, it sounds like right now you need a little space and not get overwhelmed. So this is not a catastrophe. The boys will be disappointed, but we can reschedule and come down the first week in August. And I went, okay. I said that would be great. It's all about spending time and seeing you guys. I would have never done that a year ago.
Good for you.
I would have just, quote, suffered through it.
Good for you. So I want to point out a few things that I'm noticing. The first thing is there was a part of you that gave yourself permission to be emotionally honest. And if you've ever read my book, The Inspirational Parent, in one of the chapters, it's all about honesty, but it's not the kind of honesty that we're all used to, which is just telling the truth. It's more about being emotionally honest, which takes an ability for you to self-reflect, look deep down in what's going on and noticing that. And so what you had to do is look inward and notice that you were starting to feel overwhelmed. Through that dialogue with your daughter and the suggestion to just be emotionally honest with the other daughter, you trusted that, right? And then because you had to trust that.
I took a chance.
A lot of people don't, because the fear comes up that, right, and then we make up stories. How is she going to handle that? She probably won't take it very well. And so we go into...
Am I going to hurt? My biggest thing was, am I going to hurt her feelings?
All of those rackets start to come up. So this is where you have to really be emotionally honest with yourself and then be willing to share that emotional honesty with the person and trusting that they will, from that vulnerability, from that being emotionally honest and sharing that, revealing that with them, that'll strike a chord with them. They'll be compassionate and in return go, hey, you know what? This is a simple fix. How about we do this? However, most of us don't trust that process. We've never been invited to participate like that. We've never really taken the risk to operate like that or communicate like that. So we don't know of what's possible for us to create these successful outcomes because we just don't live like that.
I create stories in my head that say, if I say that, number one, I'm going to hurt their feelings. Number two, they're going to think something about me. The boys, what's the matter with, grandma? I mean, so I made up all those stories in my head about if I did that, what would happen.
You know, the cool thing about learning how to really work on your ability to communicate effectively is that all of those worries, let's say you have 4 worries that are stopping you from sharing that with your daughter or anyone that you love. You can actually learn how to combat that in what's called a tee up before the ask. So it would sound like this. Hey, honey, I want to have a conversation with you, but I have a couple concerns that I want to address before we get into it. The first one is, when I share this, I don't want you to, what I'm afraid of is that you're going to hear it like this, like you're not wanted, that you're not loved, that you're not welcomed here. And that's totally not the truth, right? So you just handled one fear. My second concern that I'm afraid of is when I share this with you, that it'll get misinterpreted through the boys, and the boys will take it personal, and they'll think that they're, and so then you can literally, before you actually tell them what the request is,
off.
Yeah, you can just through the ability of learning how to communicate more effectively, you can handle all those up front. And then once you prep them of how you want them to listen, and you've already shared your own fears and being honest about it, she's going to be listening to different filters now.
Wow.
So now, after you've done all that, and you go, so here's what I want to share with you. Yeah, here it is. One of my concerns is I don't know if it's going to be too much for your dad. I don't know how it's going to be for me, but this is what's coming up for me. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. This is just something I wanted to share with you up front.
I kind of chickened out a little bit. I just told her the whole scenario of everything that was going on. And, after I told her everything, I said, honey, you are more than welcome. This is really up to you and what you want to do. So
that's not
let her make.
I feel that, but that's not a chicken out.
Isn't?
It's just a different version.
Oh.
So let's say you came to me and said, Alex, this is what I want to share with my daughter. Can you give me some insight? I would have teed you up to be able to go and say and communicate exactly what you did. But let's just say there's 10 different versions in there. And the version I just shared with you would probably be a 7 or an 8. You just happen to choose a 4 or a 5.
Got it.
You still create the same outcome. It was just the more you get clear about communicating effectively and being emotionally honest with the people you love and be upfront, you're going to learn how to go 4 to 5s to 5s to 7s to 7s to 9s until you're operating at 8, 9s, and 10s. And you're
Love the tee up.
Yeah, you're just constantly communicating to people. A tee up is, and if you haven't been a regular listening to the show, we've talked about it a lot. A tee up is a conversation that you have before you actually have the conversation you want to have.
It's really challenging for me.
You just got to remember it.
I forget about the tee up.
And you got to remember it. And if you practice it, once you practice it and it actually causes an amazing result, you'll never forget it. You'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
A tee up is important because what a tee up says is it's a communication that I'm going to have with you, and I'm going to be telling you how I want you to listen to the information that I'm going to share with you. So I would start off, let's say I'm really nervous about sharing something with you because I'm afraid you're going to misinterpret it. Then I'm going to first sit with you and go, I want to have a very serious conversation with you, Ellen. I want to share one of my concerns. One of my concerns is I'm really afraid that when you hear this, that you're going to hear it and misinterpret it rather than hearing it from a place of remembering and knowing that I love you more than anything in the world and I'm on your team to have you win. Now, just that alone is going to shift your...
It's like, okay, what do you want to tell me?
Exactly. Or, I'm on your team. I really want you to win. I'm struggling with it. I haven't made whatever I'm going to share with you the final solution, so I'm totally open to figuring out how to create a win-win in it. Right? There's 3 golden nuggets.
Yeah.
So I'm prepping you to hear the information I'm going to share with you from more of hearing it from a neutral perspective rather than hearing it from the filters of, see, there you go again. You don't want me to win. There you go again. You've already made up your mind. Instead of you making up all those stories, I just handled them all. I sliced them all.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, like a Fruit Ninja. You guys play Fruit Ninja, or you're just chopping all the fruit as they're coming at you? Just slicing and dicing before I even give you the info. So now when I go and drop the so-called bad news or the news that I want to share with you, you're listening to it with totally different filters.
Right. Totally open.
Because I prepped you. I explained to you how I want you to hear it. And as communicators, we don't often give ourselves permission to think that I can affect your listening.
I can only affect what I say. I can't affect anything else.
Right, but I can influence you
right.
to hear it a certain way. I can invite you to hear it a certain way. I can empower you to hear it a certain way. So in my tee up, that's what I'm doing. Hey, Ellen, when I share this information with you, I want you to hear it from a place of knowing that I'm on your team. We're going to figure this out no matter what. I haven't given up on you. I want you to hear it from, this is what we're up to, and we're not going to stop until we get to the other end. So here it goes. And then I share it with you. Now, just because I prepped you just no more than 20 seconds ago.
It takes your brain into a different place.
That's right. You're now not interpreting it from all the limiting beliefs.
Not defensive.
Your own
the
fears.
Wall isn't up.
Yeah, you're not listening it from
now
all the other people that have taken advantage of you. You're just hearing it from a clear place of, this is just the information that he's sharing with me that I don't have yet.
And there's compassion and a intention of delivering this information with love and kindness.
Yeah. And so the more we talk about this, the more aware that you are of it, I am of it. And it just keeps reminding us that we need to practice having more tee-ups in our conversations rather than letting the fear come up and then we don't give ourselves permission to have the conversation at all. And then later it comes back to bite us, right? How many times do we avoid having conversations because, one, we're afraid of the outcome. We're afraid of how they're going to take it. We're afraid of confrontation. We have all these fears surrounding us communicating and delivering news to people because of our past experiences.
Well, I think then it creates a passive-aggressive approach.
That's right. That's right. And so what a beautiful way to really look and open your eyes to the possibility that you are way more effective communicator than you think you are. You just have to learn some of these distinctions, learn these practices, and then you actually have to implement them. You have to practice them. So if you can practice teeing up people in your life to listen to you, you're going to have more effective results, especially as a parent. You can sit your son or daughter down and go, hey, I want to have a discussion with you. Before we get into the discussion or before I share with you some of this information, this is how I would love for you to hear it. I want you to hear it from you're not bad and wrong. I want you to hear it from I'm not beating you up. I want you to hear it from you. I believe you have what it takes to overcome this. I mean, you could literally sit there and go down the line of bullet points reminding them that they are capable of whatever information I'm going to give them, or they don't have to hear it that way. You can literally tee them up so that when you deliver the information, they hear it from a neutral place rather than automatically their judgments and walls come up. It's a beautiful discussion. We'll talk more about it when we come back from the break. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina Radio Show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
Daily Imprints is the premier one-stop shop for custom embroidery, screen printing, and promotional products in the Santa Clarita Valley. Owners Joe and Dana have provided KHTS with quality embroidered company shirts for over 3 years. If it's new business cards or promotional products you need to enhance your image, Daily Imprints is the choice for you. Located on Lyons Avenue, stop by or call today, 661-678-0508.
La Esmeralda is home to truly authentic Mexican food. This family-owned restaurant prides itself on its fresh-to-order menu. Even the tortillas are made in-house. If you have a taste for sizzling fajitas, flautas, or menudo, you have to try La Esmeralda's Mexican and Seafood Restaurant. Dine in or order out for the most authentic Mexican food Santa Clarita has to offer. Their Taco Tuesdays, it'll turn you into a regular. La Esmeralda on Bouquet at Haskell.
The Santa Clarita Ballet Company celebrates 25 years producing both classic and original ballets with elegant sets, colorful costumes, and beautiful choreography. The company will present the delightful Peter Rabbit and Other Tales by Beatrix Potter. Don't miss this family-friendly production being performed on Saturday, June 8th at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. at the Santa Clarita Performing Arts Center at College of the Canyons. Tickets on sale now. Call 661-251-0366 or online at santaclaritaballet.net.
Hometown, your hometown station.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina Radio Show. Today we're live in the KHTS studio in beautiful downtown Newhall, California. We have all these beautiful moms and dads and kids hanging outside the studio, and I think they're up to some amazing things out there, getting their kids involved probably in some
filming event.
Yeah, exactly. So what else do you want to talk about today?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so a week from tomorrow is a very large graduation party for our grandson.
Yes. Are you excited?
I'm extremely excited for Lance.
I feel an and coming down the pipeline.
There's a but and an and. You know, he's an amazing kid. He's worked really hard. He got a full ride scholarship to Cal University.
Good for him.
So, however, the but is, we have two sides of our family. The Ron and Ellen side, and then the Ron and his ex side. And this will be the first time in 15 years, maybe 20 years, that these sides are coming together.
I feel a story coming in.
Well, like we don't have enough time for the story,
but I'm sure there's a story. You probably made up a story, right?
Let me just preface it by the ex-wife is known as the Dragon Lady.
Okay.
Things like that.
Okay.
Now, my stepchildren and I are very, very close. But these are like old friends of Ron's and his ex-wife. I know of them. I might have met them once. So I'm the one that's doing the party with my stepdaughter. I'm anxious, to say the least, to see that side coming at me.
I love this. All right, so let's talk about what you're anxious about. What makes you anxious?
I never know what she's going to say.
Okay, great. Now, guess what? You can never know what anyone's going to say or do. I think you forgot that.
Yeah.
It's like having your wedding day and you invited a couple uncles that have made a fool of themselves before, right? And you get to learn how to surrender how the day goes. You have to surrender. And so what are we talking about when I say surrender? What are you surrendering?
I'm surrendering my...
It starts with a C.
It starts with a C. I'm surrendering...
I'm just going to let you off the hook. It's control.
Please. Oh, right, that.
You have to surrender...
of what I have nothing.
You have to surrender
yes.
the need to control the outcome, have it look the way you want it to look, the way you visualized it, the way that you've intended it to be. The outcome is going to be the outcome, and you have no control over it. That's a universal law.
All I can do is control what comes out of my mouth.
That's right. And how you react to things.
And how I react to what comes out of their mouth.
That's right. So let's say Uncle Jim, says something, puts his foot in his mouth. How you respond to that will let Uncle Jim know, oh, I have an audience, I can keep going. Or you can respond in a way that subtly lets him know, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, right? Even in silence, even just ignoring him or giving him a look or whatever, just by not playing into it.
Right.
So let's go back to the basics. The basics is you have no control over other people. You only have control over how you respond to things, how you interact. Are you going to be proactive or reactive? So if she says something that, offends people, are you going to be reactive and then contribute to it so that it escalates, or do you be proactive to where you do something that de-escalates it? And be open to the possibility that none of that happens. Let's be open to the possibility that it just turns out to be amazing, and
it will.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
And it will.
You got to decide that now, and then get out of I have all this anxiety because I'm afraid that something is going to happen that I have no control over, which you don't.
Which I don't. But she's already preempted all this by telling my stepdaughter, yes, I'm going to have a conversation with your dad, and Ellen. And, I'm already in my head saying, if that happens, see, I'm already planning it, right? If that happens, the only thing I can respond is, love to have a conversation with you. This is just not the place.
Beautiful. I was thinking the exact same thing. So
this is Lance's day.
Perfect. I love that. And there's no denying that when you say that to another human being, it's just a matter of fact. But you get to say that from a clear, powerful place, not from a place of, if she comes to me, I'm going to let, you can't bring all that because then that energy is going to cause for her to get defensive. She's going to hear it in a defensive tone, and then she's going to come back. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that be the buffer, be the vacuum that which sucks out the negative energy that's brought into a space.
I can say it with a big smile too.
Yeah. Hey, I'd love to have this conversation. Today's not the place. Let's schedule something.
Yeah.
Oh my God, perfect. All right, love it. All right, and then walk on, and then have your day be intentional. So what would be the intent for the day?
The intent for the day is to bring people together to celebrate Lance.
There you go. That's it. Make sure your intention, everything you do and everything you say is all with the intention about being about the celebration for Lance. That's it.
Okay.
So anything that comes in left field or right field or someone wants to make it about them.
Isn't grounded in that intention.
You just neutral. You just redirect it back to, hey guys, even if say something's happening over in the corner.
Right.
Oh, Aunt Johnny and Margaret are having hey, you just walk over kind of, hey guys, can you take that around the corner because we're gonna sing.
We're gonna celebrate.
We're gonna sing.
Right now.
We're gonna celebrate Lance right now. Oh yeah, no problem. You could do it in a so neutral, powerful way.
Yeah.
And you don't have to get caught up in the what ifs, right? Because what ifs aren't real.
So this is going to be a really interesting scenario for me because I am the stepmother, and I am the step grandmother. I mean, and Julie's mother is, her mom, and so I want to be respectful of that, of that dynamic. I don't want to come in and like take over. I don't know why I care about this so much. Why do I care about this so much?
Well, probably because you love somebody and you don't want to offend someone,
it's
right?
It's about, I want Julie and Lance to have the best day ever. So I want to make sure that I personally don't step on the toes of certain people.
Okay, guess what? You can't control that either.
Well, I can through my mouth as long as my mouth doesn't say anything.
Right, but okay, let me say it in a different way. There's been times that I've been carefully watching what I say.
It didn't matter anyway.
It didn't matter. I still got Alex was it, and then, so you can't control the way other people interpret you or the stories they make up based on what you said or what you did. You got to remember, there could be people around there that are still going to watch. If you come in and cut the cake, they're going to go, why did she cut the cake when I'm the mom? You know what I mean?
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't control that.
Okay.
So surrender all that.
All right.
And then just come from a loving place of, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be authentically Ellen, who love my grandkids, and I don't see I'm a step anything.
Well, I don't. I know the other side does.
Doesn't matter.
But that's their story.
Yeah, that's their
I don't have that
story.
Yeah,
don't label yourself, even though they might see you like that and put you in that box. I love these people. They've been in my life.
My family.
They're my family.
For 30 years.
And so I get to just be me. So just be you. Focus on being you.
Okay. That usually works.
Loving, compassionate, excited for them, and then let the chips fall where
they may.
And then if you have to do cleanup later on, make a phone call and go, hey, I heard that you had, and I just want to let you know that wasn't my intention. I was there with purely, to help them celebrate, and I was excited for them, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you get to move on to what's next after that.
Okay.
What are you hearing? What's coming up for you? What are you hearing me say? What's
your
little voice telling you?
My little voice, my big voice, is telling me just take a breath. Dial it down. Take a breath. Stop creating and anticipating what might be, because what might be is not even real. So show up with who you are, with intentions of being loving and kind and celebratory, and deal with whatever comes up, and maybe nothing will come up. That's a beautiful thing, and we'll all walk away going, amazing.
Now, I couldn't have said that better myself. You hit the nail right in the head. It was your words, your thought, your wisdom that just needed to be stirred up for you to look at it and then grab onto that. And then now you get to carry that intention into there. But more importantly, you get to walk out of the studio just being so clear and freed up from and being unattached to any kind of outcome that you're trying to foresee or project. Just shut all that racket down.
Just released it.
Yeah.
And in releasing that, I can already feel the head's not spinning. The monkey is all quiet.
Yeah,
down.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's going to go back.
The monkey mind is shut
take
down.
A nap.
Yeah. Go to the corner, have a timeout.
And do everything that I need to do for this event. Just do it with love and kindness, and because that's what I love to do.
There you go. And just put your head in the pillow and know that's what I'm bringing. That's my gift to not only your kids, but also the whole family and everyone that's there. That's my gift. That's my contribution.
Yeah.
Besides all the doing, like setting up and calling the caterers and doing all that, who I'm being, the presence I'm bringing to that party is my beingness, which is surrendered, unattached, love, contribution, and I get to be that at the party.
Happiness.
There you go.
Yeah.
You get to create all that with your intention.
I like it.
Awesome. What's next on your list? Is that it? Those are the two things?
Well, there was something that to circle back around.
I love it. Let's do it.
Okay, so one of the reasons that I was able to share with my daughter about what was going on, have her tell me probably not a good time, was the week and a half before. My other daughter and I had planned on taking a day. It was a Mother's Day gift from Ron. He was sending us up to Chumash for a day, overnight dinner,
Casino.
show. So excited. Haven't been out of the house much, so I was pumped. I couldn't wait. I'm counting the minutes, right? So we were going to leave on a Sunday morning and come back on a Monday. So Saturday, I get a text from my daughter that says, "Hey, Mom," see how I'm saying this? "Hey, Mom, can we do Chumash another weekend? I just took in a foster puppy, and I really, I can't leave it with Dave, and the kids are still here. They're not going back, So my answer back was, okay. That's all I said, which is not me. So
that's not you on your end, or not you on
no,
the way she
that's not
experiences
me
you?
on my end. It's usually, "Oh, okay, sweetheart, no problem. We'll just arrange another time."
Oh, okay, got it. All right.
But she got an okay.
Yeah.
And I know that my kids know what that means.
Right.
And so, she texts me back, and says, "I hope you're not angry, Mom. There's just a lot going on right now. And I just, I can't, if you want to talk about it, that's fine." So I text her back and I said, "I'll talk to you later. I just really need to process it." So she texts me back. She says, "Don't bother calling."
That's classic.
So I said, "All right." So I pick up the phone. I said, "Okay, this is stupid. This isn't how we communicate." So I pick up the phone. She answers it, and she said, "Mom," she said, "I don't need your drama. I got enough of my own right now." And I said, "No drama. No drama." I said, I was being very passive aggressive. I apologize for that. And then I just started to cry. And I just said, "I'm just so disappointed. I was so looking forward to this." And she started off by saying, "Well, it's not like we're not going to go." And then she stopped herself and she said, "I hear you." She said, "I'll bet. I know how much you needed this trip. I need this trip too, and we will make it." So after we did all that, I had said to myself, I can't do that again. I can't be that passive-aggressive person that throws stuff out there like that, because that's not who I want to be. So it was a slip, but I felt like I was able to acknowledge the slip and then circle around and clean it up. But I just thought it was hilarious that my daughter was, if you're going to call me and create drama, I want to talk to you.
But what a great story, because you got an opportunity to look at that, go back and rewind the tape, and then kind of examine it, and then have a breakthrough in it and go, "Wow, that's not the best version of myself," right? And then you went back and cleaned it up. I think you needed to have that experience and that awareness now for you moving forward when you're anticipating something, when you're excited, looking forward to something, and all of a sudden the universe throws a challenge in there. You get to decide how you want to interact with it, not necessarily react to it. So it sounded like you reacted rather than interacted.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, as you were talking, there was a part of me that I was visualizing a different version of you. Can I share that?
Oh, absolutely.
So as you were sharing that, I was like, my paint palette and paintbrush is painting a whole different version. And it was you going, "I feel you. I hear you. Honey, handle what you need to handle. Guess what? I'm still going." No, seriously. Because because this is what
didn't even think about it.
I know that. This is what I would have done. I would have told my kid, or I would have said, got it. I've been there before. Just going to let you know I'm going to go anyways. I'm probably going to take someone else. And then we can create our own at a different time. If you had your heart set on something, why would it have come down to an either or rather than an and? And I'm going anyways.
That's really interesting. I think because in my head, it was a gift for the two of us to actually have a day together, which doesn't mean that'll never happen.
That's right. I'm not saying that you don't get to have that gift. I would have said, hey, Ron, do you want that gift you gave me? Was that specifically for just us two? And if he says, yeah, then you go, okay, great. Then I'm letting you know I'm
out of here.
I'm going to get my own credit card and swipe my own trip because I was looking forward to this weekend. And why can't I?
So looking forward.
Why can't I have both, though? Why couldn't you have?
I could have
invited someone else and go, hey, guess what? I had my heart set on something. Circumstances shifted that. I'm going. Would you like to go with me? And then just went anyways. And you could have had both. So all I'm doing is pointing out the possibility of you chose either or rather than and. I get to have both.
Wow. Never even thought about that.
Yeah. So that's why I open up that possibility for you that you can have both. And then you get to look at why did I choose to not be, one, maybe worthy enough to go and have my own
time
by myself and still leave it open for another time to have that
time with my daughter.
Time with my daughter, yeah.
But, as I look back on, a lot's happened in the past week. All this has been, like going on. After that whole experience with Robin, that helped me decide how I was going to handle my other daughter.
150% agree with you. Though because, and see, you got to remember everything that you're learning and you're aware of and you're conscious, it stacks on top of each other.
Yeah.
So you're able to now look back and go, because of that
I got to do this.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And so the more you're aware and conscious and present and you're noticing, your growth starts to parlay on top of each other and you start getting a little further on down the road. And I'm really excited for you. Like when you come back and share these stories, it's just like, all the other clients that I have, when I get together with them for the very first 10 minutes, it's all right, let's do a check-in.
Right.
And then the check-in is, oh my God, since I last saw you, this is what's happened. And so the check-in is really for them to share breakdowns and breakthroughs.
Yes.
And so the breakthroughs, we start off with the breakthroughs. Oh my God, I'm high-fiving. I'm excited for you because that's letting me know that you're growing. You're doing the work. Your effort is putting out the result. And then we look at the breakdowns. So then the breakdowns are, okay, great. This is our now coaching opportunities for me to get in there, have you look at it, and have a breakthrough in them. So what you're doing with me is kind of sharing some of the breakthroughs, and you're in the hot seat at times and sharing a lot of the breakdowns, which is cool because you get to get in the gap and figure out how to overcome that the next time.
Yeah, and I want to talk just about when we come back. I want to talk about how hard it's been for me to share the breakdowns.
I love that. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
Santa Clarita, bedbugs are taking over our city. They've invaded our homes, our businesses, and most importantly, our sleep. If you have suspicious bites that appear nightly, or have a bug that you need ID'd, your best option is to make one call to All Pro. We offer a 100% guarantee that your bedbug issues will be solved with heat in one treatment. No need to tent or spray your house with chemicals. Heat is all you need. Call 661-298-2200 or text me a bug picture to 661-645-0540. It's time to sleep tight again, SCV.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
This is a Rita's Daybreak. There's a huge crowd at Rita's. With so many amazing flavors, every day's a treat. Let's see what folks are celebrating.
I lost my first tooth.
No more training wheels.
My dog photo got 37 likes.
3 kids, 3 activities, 0 meltdowns. There you have it. Layer it, blend it, or drink it with Italian ice and creamy custard. So many reasons to celebrate at Rita's. This has been a Rita's Daybreak.
Get ready for some fun in the sun because summer has begun. Your hometown station has your way in to make a splash at Six Flags Hurricane Harbor, now open daily for the 2019 season. With nearly 25 slides and water attractions, Six Flags Hurricane Harbor is the place to beat the heat. Keep listening for your chance to find your splash at Six Flags Hurricane Harbor for free. Not a winner? You can still get the coolest deals on tickets, season passes, and memberships at sixflags.com today.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome to the Alex Urbina radio show. The following is paid programming and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina radio show. We're live in the KHTS studio in beautiful downtown Newhall, California. If you missed any part of this show, we've been doing some coaching session with Ellen in the hot seat, which I love. Every time you're in it, you're always willing to be vulnerable, bring your wall down, out yourself, which is actually what I do in real coaching sessions with people. I tell them from the very beginning, if you're going to work with me, your job is to out yourself. It's like to tell on yourself. And what happens is that when you start to tell on yourself, your ego starts to panic. Your ego goes, no, don't tell them that, because your ego's job is to protect you and keep you living in the illusion that you already got that figured out. You don't need to work on that. You know, your ego's invested in never revealing that which you have to still, work on. So your job is to put ego aside when you walk into my office and just go, hey, I'm the one guy that's not going to judge you. I've been there before. I've also been there and willing to out my own self. And you've heard on the radio show, I'm the first one to dive in and go, hey, I've done that too, or I still am working on that. So it's more about revealing the areas that you still need to improve on. And I think before we went on a break, you were going to share a little bit about that process.
Yes, but I'm going to need a Kleenex for this, so grab that. Thank you. Princess Kleenexes. What I was going to share with you is all my life, I've driven myself to perfection, trying to be perfect, always doing the right thing, saying the right thing. And for the first time in my 68 years, as of Sunday, from meeting you, exposing myself to your coaching, it's the first time where I'm actually able to out myself. I'm actually able to be able to go, no, that doesn't work, without it coming back to me and saying, you suck. So thank you for being that non-judgmental person that has allowed me to experience all these wonderful things that I've been able to experience with your help and my willingness. And, it's followed over into my eating. It really, I know that sounds a little crazy, but it's kind of the same thing. For me, it's I'm going to go on an eating program because I refuse to say the D word, and 2 good days and then 1 lousy day. When I used to have that lousy day, then I would just say the self-deprecating, you're not going to be able to do this, you don't have this, the willpower, you don't have the determination, and then you get that horrible cycle. And so learning how to be okay with my own, faults and things that are not perfect, because nothing is really perfect, has allowed me to self-acceptance for the first time. There's some self-acceptance that with all my faults, not so bad. So I just, thank you. It's been really wonderful for me.
You're welcome. And one of the things that people that I coach in the last 20 plus years, one of the things that's common that they say to me is they'll say, you know, Alex, on that one event I was there and I was up against it. They say, I heard your voice. And a lot of times I tell them, I'm glad and honored that you heard my voice, but my voice becomes your voice. You just happen to put my sound and tone and words to it, but it's really, it's you developing your own voice a little bit at a time. And normally they'll say that in a way that they're trying to explain to me, I hear your voice there kind of walking me through the conscious awareness so that I can make the choices that are going to be effective for me. But what you're explaining to me, I've also heard it. I just never really tied it to into this one thing, and I just got clarity on it now. When you have been hearing your own voice that's been judging you for such a long time, that through the constant work with me, you're actually hearing my voice not judging you in those moments. So now you're hearing my silence in those moments, right? That you're checking in and asking yourself those questions. I'm still there, but I'm just not saying anything. I'm just allowing the space for you to share that in a non-judgmental, neutral place of, hey, you're just sharing this. So now when you're checking in, you're going, oh my God, I didn't get the goal. I didn't achieve what I set out to. You're now not following through with the old voice which would have said something negative to you. Now is just silence. And in that silence, you can now go, however, I can do this, and it now allows you to move on to being proactive and figuring out. Yeah. So it just eliminates the self beat up mode, and you're allowing yourself now to just let your results be what they are, more like information for you to figure out what's next or what can I learn from it, rather than going into this rabbit hole of now let's psychoanalyze, everything I've done and pick out and point out all the things that's wrong.
Everything now is an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's not a step backwards ever anymore. You know, how people say one step, 2 steps back, 1 step forward. I don't see it like that anymore. Everything that doesn't turn out as I would have hoped or anticipated is nothing more than an opportunity to learn from it and know that if it presents again, I'll respond to it differently.
Here's something I want to ask you real quick. I hope we have enough time, but I want to ask you this question. Quite often when I work with clients and I'm working with them past a certain period of time, they start to have those breakthroughs, and then by virtue, they end up coaching other people around them. Their sister, their brother-in-law, their kids. It's just part of the evolving. It's like when you see an amazing movie, you go, have you seen that movie yet? And they're like, no, tell me about it. And you're like, oh my God, it was. So it's kind of like you just by virtue, you start being a better listener for others. You start asking open-ended questions. So I want to ask you, because I've never asked you this, is that happening with you? And are you able to affect other people around you in a more positive way as well?
Absolutely, 100%.
Tell me, just give me a taste of what that looks like.
I've done it with my granddaughter. I have caught myself a million times every time she comes, because she always wants to talk, to be a better listener. And by being a better listener for her, she opens up more. She's more honest. And when I want to say something for the first time, she actually listens. And the other day when my daughter was struggling with something, she said, wait a minute. She said, let me reframe that, Mom. And I got goosebumps.
Isn't that awesome?
I got goosebumps.
Isn't that awesome?
And I said, okay, sweetie, how would you like to reframe that?
Yeah, that's awesome, because our kids and the people around us in our inner circle are just watching and observing, and there's something that they're picking up on us all the time, and then they're just now embodying it and then serving it back to you. And it's so amazing to watch them, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, this is the kind of conversation I've always wanted. I didn't know that I wanted that. I didn't even know a conversation like that was even possible. And so then as you start to get better at communicating, as you get better at being the neutral space for people, as you get better at being more vulnerable and more loving and more compassionate, then people start trusting you more, and then they start accessing more of their full potential in communicating and in relationships with you. So now you're both kind of like just going up the ladder like a seesaw.
We're tweaking it, you know?
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
It brings so much joy to me, and I'm such in awe of you. You're an amazing student and a leader and a teacher. Thank you for being with me today, and have a beautiful birthday this weekend. Thank you. That's all the time we have for the show. We're here every Friday, right here in your hometown station, KHTS.